Hey guys, welcome back to Through the Screen. I'm Charlotte.
I'm Emily.
I'm Erika.
We hope you've been enjoying our episodes so far, liking, commenting, and sharing with your friends. If you missed any of them, head on over to our channel and watch, and if you're not already, be sure to subscribe while you're there. This week we'll be discussing yet another controversial animal hunting issue, so we hope you'll follow us once again as we join together via Skype to bring you conversations through the screen.
This episode, we will be discussing the first Illinois Bobcat hunt in 40 years and how you can help stop hunts like this. We will also be bringing you the latest Taiji updates, sharing a heartwarming story about a polar bear named Pizza who was finally freed from imprisonment in a Chinese shopping center, and finally discussing our thoughts on the semifinals of Dancing with the Stars. First up, the Illinois Bobcat hunt.
Just last week, Illinois approved and began their first bobcat hunt in 40 years. Bobcats, whose numbers are hard to estimate because they prefer to stay out of sight, were previously listed as threatened species in the 1970s. However, this year it was determined by the Illinois Department of Natural Resources that the years of protection and habitat restoration have allowed for what they call a sustainable hunting and trapping season. Because of this, the DNR sold 500 hunting permits and a lottery of more than 6,000 people that were looking to obtain one. The hunt is set to last until January and will allow people to shoot these animals with guns or arrows or chase them down with dogs, where they are placed in steel-jawed traps. The purpose of this hunt is mainly sport as well as to, of course, make profit from their fur. Around 50 bobcats' pelts can be made into a winter coat, which is often sold in Russia or China for up to $150,000. Unlike the Florida bear hunt, which was supposedly to control the black bear population, the Illinois bobcat hunt has more to do with fun and making money.
In 1972, bobcats were all but extinct from Illinois' borders and were placed on the endangered species list in the state. They remained protected from 1977 till 1999, when the species began to thrive again. But in order to hunt or trap a bobcat, you must have the proper permits, and only if they are being a nuisance to your property. It is listed in Appendix 2 of the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora, which means it is not considered threatened with extinction, but hunting and trading must be closely monitored. The animal is regulated in all three of its range countries and is found in a number of protected areas in the United States, its principal territory. Mainly, bobcats are hunted for their fur to make coats and scarves, as well as pelts and hides. In the past, they were mainly used as a source of survival from the harsh Illinois winters, but now they're being hunted for one simple fact: greed.
Yeah, I mean, it's just... I think it's just sad because when we heard about the Florida bear hunt, that was kind of a lot. And then you realize that it's happening with other species as well. Now we have the bobcat hunt. I've read multiple wolf hunts that are happening. So I feel like it's really sad. And I think the saddest part of it is that the DNR kind of said that because they've had this time to gain their population back, and because they know they have like habitat restoration, now it's okay to hunt them. But it's kind of just like making the problem is just going to keep repeating itself. You're going to drive them down to being threatened, and then you're going to let them come back up so you can hunt them again. It doesn't make any sense to me to do that. And I mean, I don't understand the sport of it. People have different opinions on that. But I mean, I just think that it's really sad that things like this continue to happen, and we're just seeing these species just less and less numbers, and with with how the world is today, I think that's just a really sad thing. But fortunately, there is one person who does not plan on using her bobcat hunting permit. Natalie Lichtenbert applied for a permit for no other reason than to ensure that someone else would not have one. The DNR, however, will still be profiting from the hunt, and unfortunately from the permit that she bought, most likely, while bobcats will surely be losing. And, of course, we can't afford to drive more species to extinction, so if you'd like to help stop this hunt, we will link a petition below so that you can sign, as well as how you can help other animals escape similar fates.
This week in Taiji, we saw a majority of Blue Cove days. However, on November 16th, Japan time, after an 11-day streak, a pod of about 15 to 20 rhesus dolphins was driven into the cove and slaughtered. Sadly, the following day, a small pod of 8 to 10 rhesus dolphins was also taken into the killing cove. As always, we remind you to check out the live streams that are linked down below and share what's going on with others.
This week's heartwarming story is about a polar bear named Pizza who sadly spent most of his life in a Chinese shopping center taking selfies with people. Pizza is one of 500 species, including foxes, wolves, and walruses, kept in the mall's so-called zoo. However, people have rallied around Pizza, and a petition to get him freed received more than 1 million signatures. Additionally, more than 50 Chinese animal rights groups have written letters to close the mall's zoo permanently on the grounds that it is illegal. Thanks to the petition, Pizza will be removed from his concrete prison and rehomed at the ocean park where he was born to live out the remainder of his life. Grandview Aquarium, however, is still reluctant to release the rest of the animals, so along with this article about Pizza's freedom, we will also link a petition below that you can sign to shut down this zoo permanently and release all of its animals.
This week on Dancing with the Stars was semi-finals night, where our remaining 5 couples performed on their own, as well as a trio dance with another professional. We saw quite a few perfect scores, the return of Sharna, and yet another elimination as we move into our final round. So what did you guys think of this week's performances, starting with James and Sharna, who performed Argentine Tango?
So for me personally, I wasn't really impressed with this dance. The blindfold is something we've seen on the show before, like it's been done before. I mean, as the male lead, he definitely nailed all of his steps and showed that he could lead Sharna. But really, the best part about this dance was the fact that Sharna was back for me.
I mean, I agree. It was definitely great to see Sharna. I was excited when I heard that she was going to be back. And I also agree that the blindfold has been done. The first thing I thought of was Bindi and Derek when I heard about it, because they just recently did that. So I don't think that the blindfold was needed, but I think that the dance was very effortless and it flowed very well. I think it was a beautiful dance. I think they just didn't really need the blindfold. But I loved his end pose because I was not expecting that, and it definitely showed a lot of strength that he had. So, I mean, it was one of my favorites of the individual dances, so I liked it.
So I thought the dance was weird, but it was good. So I thought the moves were cool, but the dance itself didn't really have a wow factor for me. So I wasn't really amazed, but I was like, oh, it's not bad. But that's my opinion. So next we have Jana and Gleb, who performed a Quickstep.
So yeah, again, with this dance, I wasn't impressed. I'm not really a huge fan of Quickstep to begin with. And for me, I noticed, I thought that it looked like Gleb messed up twice rather than Jenna messing up at all. So those are, little things that I noticed, but yeah, I wasn't a fan.
Yeah, his, he didn't have the right shoes or something because he kept slipping. He's definitely twice that I saw. So that was very distracting because I kept wondering when he would slip next. So I was watching him instead of her. I did not like the overall theme of it. I actually couldn't really tell what it was. It looked like they were in like a shoe store and she like was an heiress or like had a lot of money or something, but I didn't really get it. I thought the technique was good, but I'm not a huge fan of Quickstep either, so I didn't really like this one that much.
I thought the dance and the outfits were just overly tacky. I didn't like it at all. So next we have Calvin and Lindsay, who performed a tango.
So this for me was the first dance of the night that I liked. I didn't love it, but I liked it. I liked the entire beginning concept. My only issue was timing. At one point, Lindsay slipped and it threw them off a little, and almost to the point where they didn't finish the dance in time. And but again, like other than that, I really liked it. This number, and I loved the actual like song that they chose.
I wasn't a big fan of this one. I liked the intensity of it, and I love the song. I think it was a really great song, and I thought the beginning was cool where they had the hands kind of like grabbing onto them. He's always very effortless, but I feel like this time he was kind of stumbling over his feet a little bit, which also kind of threw me off. So it definitely was not one of my favorites of his.
So I thought the dance was fun. I originally wrote energized, but I couldn't figure out the word. I think it was intense, what Emily said. But yeah, I was kind of let down this week by them, but I am rooting for them. I was kind of sad when I saw the two of them in elimination, and I was like, no. But
we'll get there.
Yeah. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. Finally, we have Lori and Val, who performed an emotional foxtrot.
So once I saw Lori's video package, I was kind of like really devastated for her, and like through the whole dance, I was just like I was crying with her. Like I felt so bad for her, and I was so impressed by the whole entire dance, and like I broke down with her at the end. Like I was just like, this is too emotional for me to be watching. Like,
yeah,
but yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely so emotional. I got teary, you know, when it got to her grandma's message for her. Tom really got to me, his comments. But I mean, I think it was a very beautiful and passionate dance. And I think there's no doubt at all that she deserves to be in the finals. I don't think anybody can argue with that. I really liked it.
This dance is actually my favorite. I loved everything about it, like the production, the outfits, and the emotion, and their dance, and just like perfect. I loved it so much. Next, we have cheer dances, and first was James and Sharna, who performed a jive with Jenna.
So for me, I actually really liked this dance. He really looked like he was in his element during this dance with the both of them, rather as when he was just with Jenna, like you could tell he was lacking confidence that he had when he was with Sharna. But like this really showcased all three of them in a really nice way, and I really liked that. And they really just all worked together as one, and it made the dance even better.
This one I smiled the entire time. I really liked it. I just love how he gets into like the character and seems to have so much fun and so much energy. I think there was a lot of really good technique with this dance, and I think it was just really sharp, and I really liked it a lot.
I actually liked this one. I thought it was really cool to see, like, as Charlotte said, James and Jenna and Sharna together. Just the three of them working together was great, and, you know, like, there's no competition, right? And I like that. Next, Jana and Gled performed a paso doble with Alan.
So this was probably one of my favorite trio dances of the night. I liked this dance way more than their individual dance at the beginning of the night, and I could have done without the 15 seconds of her sitting in the chair at the beginning of the dance. Just because for me, that's 15 seconds she could have spent showcasing her talent. So, but again, I really liked the entire story and concept, so I kind of understood why when the dance ended, why she was sitting in the chair for the 15 seconds. But yeah, I really really liked it.
I actually loved the beginning of it. I loved the whole tree thing, like the screen. I don't know if it was a tree, but the branches. Yeah, I loved that part of it and how she was kind of controlling them with her arm motions. I thought that was very cool. I just really loved the intensity of it. I thought it was sexy and that they had really nice lines, and it was definitely one of my favorites of the trios. And I agree, I liked it much better than their individual dance.
Like Emily said, like controlling it kind of like reminded me like a puppeteer for some reason. I know, I'm sorry, but that's what it reminded me of. But I thought it was really well done. I really liked it, and just like beautiful, like dances that take your breath away. Seriously, I love those kind of dances.
Yeah.
Next up, Calvin and Lindsay did a salsa with Whitney.
So, while I was impressed by the dance, I also think that at this stage in the competition, there should be more choreography and less lifts. So, while like I said, I liked the performance and I liked the dance, I feel like sometimes they kind of just throw a whole bunch of lifts at Calvin so that he doesn't have to actually dance. And that's really, really, like, he showcases the wow factor, but at the same time, as somebody who watches dances for dances, not lifts, I was kind of a little let down by that.
So I obviously was very excited that Whitney was their partner, and I kind of figured it because Lindsay and Whitney are best friends, and they always team up together. So I was very excited to see her, and I loved the color of their outfits. I really think it made it pop. I wasn't a fan of the stage because I think that they were very like condensed and it was hard for them to do a lot of movements. So when they came down the stairs, I was happier because they could actually move more. I think it was fun and energetic, and they had like really cool moves, like especially the one where they were both on him and they were like spinning around, and it was cool. But I do understand what Charlotte says about the lifts, that there was a lot of like wow factor in it. It wasn't one of my favorite trio dances, but I mean, they did okay.
So I'm kind of the opposite towards Charlotte and Emily because I've mentioned in like previous episodes where I enjoy lifts. Like I love the lifts and the spins and the flips and all that. Probably, I don't know, I was in gymnastics when I was little and I've always been drawn to that. I was in gymnastics and dance, but like gymnastics was like my number one when I was a kid. So I always look for that, and like I thought it was really cool. Like definitely a big fan of that one. But I do agree though, like there wasn't a lot of dancing. I felt like there was more lifts than there was dancing. It's nice when it's all mellowed out nicely. But
yeah, there was definitely no blending there at all. It was clearly way more lifts than there was dancing. I agree. If they had mixed it up more and there had been a little more choreography and a little less lifts, I wouldn't have said that. But there was like very little choreography and very little movement by him through the dance. That's just how I felt.
Finally, Lori and Val performed a samba with Val's brother Max.
So for me, I loved everything about this dance. Her intensity and her upbeat personality made her shine through every second, especially compared to both the Schmirkovsky brothers. It's very hard to shine on your own with those two, like, behind you. And I loved the entire concept of Max being their teacher and trying to, like, improve their scores and everything like that. I really, really enjoyed that. So for me, I really liked this dance.
Yeah, it was kind of like dance inception because there was judges in the dance, but also judges watching them. So it was really cool. But I loved the storyline of it, that he was kind of the dance teacher, and then they finally got to the competition where they had the little number on the back. So it was like exactly, I don't know, it was like art imitating art. So I thought that was very cool. But yeah, I mean, I loved it. I thought she looked very professional with them, and the movements were so sharp, and I really loved it. It was another one of my favorite trio dances.
I loved it, which is weird because I normally don't love these kind of dances. I normally like just, their individual ones. But I loved every single one of the trios this week. I think it was picked really well. But yeah, I really like this dance. So of course, Tara and Sasha were just shy of making it to the finals. So how did we feel about their dance and elimination?
I wasn't really a fan of their individual dance or their trio dance, but I do think that she definitely got her message across with her main goal for the season, and she should be proud of herself. But I wasn't surprised that she was the one who was sent home.
I was not surprised either. I liked the themes of both dances, and for her individual dance, I loved the song. It was Alessia Cara. And I mean, I just love like the whole message behind it. I thought it was good, but I mean, it didn't really do anything for me. Kind of the same with the trio dance. I was really excited when it first started because I thought the theme was so cool. It was like very dark and intense, but it just kind of ended up disappointing me overall. And I wasn't super impressed, so I was not surprised that she was eliminated, and I am very happy with the final four.
So I love the dance. I thought the dance was very beautiful, and the song that they performed to was very beautiful. It just blended in really nice. It wasn't my favorite, but I thought it was really well done. The trio wasn't really a fan of. But throughout this season, I was really hard on Tara and Sasha. Just overall wasn't really a fan of them. But she definitely, like, that girl, she's like a warrior. Like, just, she's so strong and, like, brave. And to just show her family and her friends and, like, the world what she's capable of and other people are capable of is just inspiring. I think she is inspiring, and I think that she should be proud of herself, and I'm proud and I'm happy that she made it this far, and like I'm happy she was on the show, and like it's sad that she's going home, but I wasn't surprised because that happened with Ryan and Cheryl. They were not Ryan and Cheryl, but I don't know, there was someone who went home last week.
Mary
Lou and Derek, they were in the eliminations 2 weeks in a row, and when I saw Tara and Sasha in it again, I was like, oh, they must be going home, because if they're in it like 2 weeks in a row, you kind of just get that like, oh, something's, Yeah. I'm happy it wasn't Calvin and Lindsay, because otherwise I would have had a little temper tantrum.
But like me and Ev have pointed out before, though, sometimes we don't really necessarily think those are the bottom two. They're just people that they put in there for ratings. Because there's been seasons where, like, there was one season with Mark and Sarah Palin's daughter, Bristol Palin. Mm-hmm. Like, they were in the bottom two literally the entire show. And each week they kept getting saved by fans. So, I mean, sometimes it's not always true if they're in the bottom two. Like, that's just my own opinion.
Yeah, I think it's very ratings driven.
Yeah.
We hope you all enjoyed our thoughts on the semifinals of Dancing with the Stars. Be sure to share your thoughts on the episode down below, and of course join us next week where we will be discussing the 2-night finale and the mirror ball winners.
This week's Song of the Week is by a band that is very close to my 14-year-old self's heart, and that is Green Day. The band, who formed in 1986, recently released their latest album, Revolution Radio, at the beginning of October. Their song Still Breathing, which was released on YouTube as a music video on November 7th, is all about pushing through no matter what obstacles you may be facing, and has their classic rock sound with a new twist. So what did you guys think of this week's pick?
So I'm personally not a big fan of Green Day. Just the style of music, I guess, but the song did have a good message to it. I listened to it this morning. It's something that I just wouldn't download because I'm just not an overall fan of Green Day, but I do agree that the message has a great message to it.
So for me, Green Day reminds me of somebody. So I'm not really a fan of this song, but just because I'm not a fan of it doesn't mean that somebody else won't be. So, yeah. I would suggest people to download it and give it a chance for themselves, or at least go to YouTube and listen to it and base it on your own opinion. Because just because I don't like it and Erika doesn't like it doesn't mean it's not a good song.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, I mean, I really like the song. I like the message. I think it's interesting because it's a little bit different than their classic sound, which when they first came out, which was a lot more punk. Now it's a little bit more like just rock-ish. The chorus is very them, but the verses are a little bit different from their usual style. But I mean, I enjoy it, and like they said, I encourage people to give it a chance and see if you like it as well. Be sure to leave your comments below and check out the music video, which will be linked in the description box. Also, be sure to leave us future song suggestions because we want to hear from you.
Okay guys, that's our show. We hope you enjoyed this installment of Through the Screen. If you did, be sure to like down below and also subscribe to the channel. We also appreciate any feedback you may have. We post new videos every week, and we'd love for you to all join us and tell your friends. Next week, in honor of Thanksgiving, we'll be discussing what we're thankful for, so you won't want to miss it. Until then, thanks for watching, stay informed, and we'll see you next time.
Bye!
Bye!